Hey, yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit late still. Still have to figure that out. Um, or I get there just on time. But I have an excuse. I had to use the restroom, so there's that. But I should have had all my other stuff ready. So I basically asked Gemini if it could analyze my YouTube channel, or actually one of my live streams. And even though I guess Gemini can't actually look at your live streams like video wise, like something like Google AI Studio. I even tried with Google AI Studio briefly, and that didn't seem to work. It crashed out on me, so I don't know what the deal is with that. So I'm not using Google AI Studio, but and then Grok of course can actually analyze videos. But what Gemini said was talking about my title, and so instead of putting whatever I put Building Enchanted Lands episode whatever, it suggested putting the Enchanted Lands episode number and all that at the end and actually come up with a title that's evocative of what I'm going to do or what I'm attempting to do, so that people just browsing will actually look at the title. I also got thumbnails to work on, and um, got to work out this time thing. I also have to figure out what I can do for the times where I actually need to be away from the stream for a few minutes, like the be right back stuff, but not maybe not be right back. Maybe something to put on in the interim while that while that happens or whatever. Um, and I need to figure out how to utilize um, I forget what I was saying. Okay, let's put this over here because I don't want. I mean, to show it, it's not that there's anything that secretive. It's just Discord, but I have a feeling that some people might not want to be on my stream. Um, okay. And the same thing with IRC. I'll just briefly move this over while it's loading up. Okay. And I should honestly have all this stuff done by the time I get there. Um, I know. Okay, so I guess really the only thing that I just did differently this time is I changed around my title. Now, somebody looking at the VODs might not watch it because maybe I have a lot of lead-in time, right? And you want to kind of get right into the action. So, um, so yeah, I think I don't know. I have to figure that out. Maybe I'll ask the AIs. Maybe I'll do some searching. Maybe I'll figure some stuff out. But so this first thing is just the name change. So building Enchanted Lands day 305 instead of 30 episode 305 part 1 part 2. They'll now say what they're going to be about, or a defining feature or just distinguishing thing about the particular stream, and it can use still the same day. I don't have to change part 1 and part 2, but I'll have to what it'll mean is I'll have to come up um, with some actual titles, and especially when it comes to my break, aka part 2. I'll have to be able to think of it fairly quickly so that I don't have that much time when I go on my break. I'm not spending that much time working on the title, but if I start doing the titles, that's one of the things. The other thing is getting right into it. Although getting right into it is probably more important for the VOD rather than the stream. The stream, lots of streams always kind of start with this kind of waiting for people to come in kind of thing. Even though I don't do that because I don't get that many people coming in. Certainly not right when I start streaming, and at least not right now. And so I might still have that, but I mean, I'll have to think of something. Maybe I'll have maybe I'll play with my recaps. Maybe that's not a bad idea. They'll just be raw recaps though. I'll have to put them all and uh, and just play them directly. I don't know. Maybe I can get VLC or whatever on Linux Mint here to batch up several files because I have a like four clips basically. Honestly, I should start have the replay buffer. Um, but I always forget about the replay buffer. Start it and then save replay. So I don't know, the last 5 minutes or whatever. I forget exactly how much time I have it on here because I forget what the setting is. Okay. So not many people are gonna watch this one either, except for maybe the title. Maybe I'll get one or two more people in here on the title. I need to put up my chat deals. I should have had this done early already, but you know how it always goes with me. I'm always late, which I shouldn't be, but I am. Uh, Anywho, do that. Okay, and let me put these up here about chat. Okay, then all videos. Building Enchanted Lands Day 305. Oop, come on, go live. Oh, did I not start the stream because stupid Rumble Studio always has to have to hit start stream every single time. It can't just automatically start it like the rest of them. It can detect when it's being started, when it's getting a feed, but it can't start it when you get a feed. There we go. Annoying. That's okay, whatever. All right. And live stream here. Pop out chat. Alrighty. And we want live chat. Mm. Okay. Uh, give me, give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I got to let you know. Okay, sorry about that. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. I need you tonight. Boom, boom. Mm, 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 mm. You know, the I guess the cinnamon. I guess the cinnamon desktop has a decent has a snapping system. I'm gonna make everything as big as Twitch here. Okay. but I'm gonna make it as short as YouTube here. And Bob's your uncle. Yeah, actually, let's. Okay. And yeah, it's kind of annoying. Okay, so here's the deal, right? I got Social Stream Ninja to work to so I could do all of my chats all in one place, right? And it was working okay for a while, but you have this one little thing. Because Rumble, the way it works, first it doesn't do like it doesn't automatically start. I mean, it's able to detect when your stream is running, so it should be in theory be able to do that, but it doesn't. They don't do that. Secondly, they don't allow you to chat in Rumble Studio. So I have to open up a separate video window for my stream and then pop out the chat from there. Okay? I have to pop out all the chats for Social Stream Ninja to work at all. And they got to be kind of in view too. They can't be covered. And then stopped showing up the chats in Social Stream Ninja from Kick. I could broadcast to Kick. I could type a message to all of them, but do that. So that combined, it's just sort of removed the purpose for having Social Stream Ninja, right? Okay, let's do this. And where's Twitch? Twitch. And then Kick. It should be about last. Actually, that seems to work fine. Here, let's kick it in there a little bit so that there we go. Okay. Anyways, so in order to see all of my chats, I have to uh, either I have to make sure that I'm cognizant by going and switching to a billion different tabs, or I could have them all set in separate browser windows, which gets kind of a pain in the butt because I have to make sure that they're still in the forefront to be able to use it directly. Uh, or I can pop out the chats here and put them on my main desktop so that everybody can see them. But I still have to place them. So and then placing them is kind of a pain because there's no I can't do it like some sort of cascading or tiling feature or anything here on Cinnamon Desktop. I don't know why, but it doesn't seem to do that. I don't think. I don't see it here. Customize icon. See, this is all about icons. This isn't even about um, desktop settings. See, these are icons. This isn't about windows on your screen. So I don't know how to do that. I'm sure maybe there's an extension. There's some widget or something that would allow me to do that. I have to find that, I guess. But nothing that'll let me, kind of arrange these or cascade them, even for that matter. Um, or pull them to the front when I need to pull them to the front or whatever. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm like, just like right now, I'm wasting my time explaining this junk to you, and nobody's gonna sit and watch me explain stupid junk problems I have. So I need to figure out what I can put when I'm getting stuff ready because I can't pop out the chats until I'm streaming. Then can I pop out the chats. Okay, and then like I said, arranging them takes a little bit of time. It doesn't take a lot of time. You know, I could make it to where it just it retains its own size and stuff, and I can just kind of put them on sloppily and occasionally check them. I guess. I mean, I could do that, but pain in the butt. Um, Meld Meld Studio, which I'm actually running. Here, I'll bring it on screen for just a quick second. I'm running Meld Multi, and let's just do that here. Pull this down. Um, I could have multiple things, and while it's supposedly in beta, it's supposedly free. I don't know how long it's going to stay free. It might not. I might have to go back to using Restream to stream just the YouTube and Rumble, whatever. Um, but I'm using Meld, and this is it's just there's nothing here because I'm not actually showing the preview. I can hit play to look at the preview here, um, and it goes infinitely. But so they have Windows and Mac OS versions of Meld Studio, but they don't have a Linux version. Which, if if uh, if history shows me anything, is that um, Linux is still the redheaded stepchild, and it's not going to get any extra love. Now, maybe if there's a bunch of people on Linux streaming and they wanted the Linux version, maybe the people at Meld will actually build Meld Studio for Linux. But right now they're not doing it. They're just doing it in Windows and Mac OS, and so it's kind of a pain in the butt. Now there might be some, you know, I might be able to use Wine or some other thing that will allow me um, to run Meld Studio in Linux, even though it's a Windows programming. But that's probably a hassle, and it doesn't work 100% because it's going to have to take over my. It's going to have to do what OBS does. If it did though, if actually if I could get it to work, actually I should try to do it. But if I could get it to work, then at least I would have the thing about the chats and everything. It would all be in one particular deal program. But anyways, so that's what I'm doing. So let's just kind of shrink this back again, and let's go ahead and put this back over here on my second screen, and all I can do is just whine and complain, basically. Okay, so let's how much time do I have? 11:30 to 12:05, right? 12:05 is the soft cutoff. 12:10 is the hard cutoff, and where I'm supposed to take my break. So I'm supposed to start winding down at the 35-minute mark, which I'm going to do. So yeah, so today what all we're going to do is let's see here. Yeah. What am I doing? This is what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and go to animation backgrounds again. Now, that might be better just to grab some cells from, I'm going to do MGM and Catch Up Your Troubles, 1949. Actually, this is pretty good stuff here, the background art in here. So, um, now I said I was going to, let's see. I actually was doing 5 movies, but I treated Ichabod Mr. Crane as 2 separate movies, so technically speaking, I got 6 there. Um, I only need to do 4 or 5, maybe 3. I was going to do 3 different ones, and then I wanted to add some Tex Avery in there, but all in all, it kind of doesn't matter in a way. This is supposed to be inspiration stuff, and so, yeah. Okay, open in a new tab. That's okay. That's okay. I actually like that. The background is just it's subsequently faded out, kind of like how it would work depending on the time of day, or all the details on these foreground leaves, and then the background just successfully kind of fades out with less detail. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I like all these, honestly. Saturday evening puss. Yeah, good old Jerry, or good old Tom. I mean, that's that's maybe. It's kind of interesting. Notice how it's not there's not a lot of stuff cluttering it up, right? There's enough detail. That's because now I don't remember this particular movie or short. I mean, but you know that the action's going to happen in here. You know the flowers are probably going to be in the foreground. That's probably what they are there. But if you notice, the way that they it's like the way that they lit it, right? It's sunlight's an outdoor scene, but it's like you have light over here. It's like there's nothing obstructing it, right? And in fact, they draw your attention to this area right over here, right behind the flowers, with the way the shadows go. It's kind of interesting. It's all perfectly, I guess, designed. You know, I mean, you might say, well, this is kind of natural. If a tree was there and the sun was at a certain angle, it would be broadcasting this shadow here, and it's realistic. And I'm sure to some extent it is, but they also did that to kind of frame the area to read well for the cartoon, right? Um, Now, which one was this? This is 16. I'm gonna leave that in. This is another good one. Here they sort of did it, kind of, but it's supposedly a different time of day, right? And they have these two areas of light. So, and the kind of two areas, man, all of these are pretty good. Well, some of these close-ups ones aren't that special to me, but you know what? I'm gonna do too. I don't think I'm going to see something here. I guess we counted that as one short. Quiet, please. Knockout drops. Mouse Trouble. 1944. And honestly, I like the shiny floors and stuff here in this. Blitz Wolf. Okay, that's all right. Solid Serenade. I almost could use Solid Serenade because they kind of look at they do MGM backgrounds. They like to have like the Midnight Snacks from 41. Solid Serenade from 46, right? Okay. I'm probably straying a little bit on some of these. Cat and the Mermouse. Robin Hoodwinked. Oh, yeah, I think. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do one of these here. 1958 is way late and it's way kind of stylized, but the backgrounds still aren't that stylized. They're more uh, kind of minimalist-ish. Not really minimalist, but sort of, kind of, sort of. So, um, okay. Actually, you know what I'm not gonna do? I'm not gonna do this because I'm almost at 12:05. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pare this down. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. There's eight, so I can remove three. I'll remove three of them. Okay. I kind of like these ones. I actually like that one. Okay, actually, I like this one. Um, this one, I don't need that one. This one, I like this one. This one, I kind of liked it at first, but right now, no. And then one more out of here. Okay, maybe this one. Kind of nice, good like overview of everything, but okay, good, good, good. Save image as. We'll save it in reference images, and then I'll convert it to PNG afterwards. Um, save. Save image as. Save. Uh, those are the small ones. I wonder where the big ones are because I don't know if I can, find them or whatever. Okay, so I guess let's do something real quick. Let's go to concepting. Okay, that wasn't it, was it? I see. I forgot. Shift M, Super Grok. Version. Let's just copy this directly. Let's open. Let's go to favorites. Let's go to design documents. Let's go to reference images. Let's go to. Okay, let's paste. Uh, or that's not what I'm gonna do. Let's go to open in terminal. Let's do paste. All right. Why? Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's do something else instead. And that is, let's take the path out. I don't need converted. Okay, let's see if that works. No? All right. Let's copy this whole thing. Copied, paste. because I know that worked. What? I forgot. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I guess they're all there, huh? Oh, it was just it did all the JPEGs. I see. One, two, three, four, five. Delete. Okay. Okay, that's good. Let's do a rename. Find hatch. Replace it with. Okay, find hatch. Replace with. Here, we'll just do it with that. Hatch, like that. And let's just rename all of them. Okay, good. That way, MGM. I could further put Tom and Jerry, I guess, but kind of doesn't matter right now. Okay, so now right now is my hard break. So I'm gonna take my little break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Actually, I'm gonna do my little recording recap here. So we'll start with that real quick before I do my break. Uh, Today is Friday, May 22nd, 2026, and today I got a few more images. This time from Tom and Jerry cartoons, which are pretty good. So these are the ones. Okay, that's what I got done for it. That's what I got done for session one. Session one. Okay, now I'm gonna go back on my deal, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. think I need to create like a looping animation or something. Pardon me. Okay, 12:15 to 12:45 is 30 minutes. 12:50. So 12:50 is when I have to start winding down, which is fine. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get right into it. I don't know how. This is the final one here after rewriting it several times. Hubert walks around his home, checks out various spellbooks, scrolls, and loose papers, and then goes to his crystal ball. After going through a few candidates, he settles on John Thomas, who is from Cerulia, which happens to be our realm. Halfway tells the crystal ball to show where he is now, and the ball shows John in the library putting books onto the shelves. Halfway grabs a few hats from his desk in order to call his hat magic spellbook to him, forgetting he's lost half of his. Uh, he puts on the hat, says a few magic words, and the book of titles, Unicorn Sign Language, starts flying toward him. It then stops halfway and briefly switches to a copy of Beauty and the Beast before vanishing. Halfway says to himself, "That's odd. That wasn't even the correct book." He then thinks about ways to get Quicksilver to John. Okay, now before I do that, before I actually work on that, let's go to favorites. Let's run the editor. Let's open up the thing. You know the thing. And let us go to 2D here. I have to have my own theme music. Yeah, okay, so I don't know. I wonder I wonder if music is important to a live stream. Because some guys put some music on the background. Oftentimes it's actually louder than they are. But I'm going to, maybe that's important too. Maybe I should also always have some sort of music, something pleasant, of course, something hopefully that's free, public domain or whatever attribution or something. Uh, I'll have to actually look for that. I mean, I could do it on camera, on screen, but it's not towards the making of the game. It's just towards the building of the channel, which is not as important here because the live stream is supposed to be about the game, not about the channel itself. So I might do that later. Uh, grab some music, some background music. Uh, I probably need to make some looping animations for when I go away instead of just the be right back thing. Something to watch, something interesting, I guess. Um, I don't know. I could. Well, I was thinking that I should like do some character concepts and then like record me building that and then put that as a uh, an animation there. But so yeah. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Okay. So this is a perfect candidate. Thinking about ways. Okay, that's just gonna be like a statement. Like he's gonna make a statement like, how should I get him a ticket? Then the magic mailbox. Inside the wrapper. Magic. Actually, there's some weird thing here. Look at it. Okay. Okay, what did I put in the perfect candidate here? Again. Uh, bup, bup. It's just hit one to continue, right? I can leave that there. I won't have that in the actual narrative. I won't say he thinks of a way. Maybe I'll say something like now the next step, and then you go to the next page, which is the magic mailbox page. Okay, so let's check this out. Okay. Mm. Turning around to the large bookshelf behind him. Bookcase, what bookcase? Bookcase? Case behind him. Halfway. Okay. Halfway looked up from the cloth toward his desk, noticing three different without thinking he walked without thinking, comma, he walked to the desk, put on the hats, and then turned toward a crystal ball, which happened to be in front of a giant uh let's see, wait. He went over to the desk, grabbed the hats, and put them on without thinking, forgetting that he had lost half of his magic. Um, this show don't tell. Forgetting he lost the mom without thinking, and then turned toward a large bookcase behind the crystal ball. Said a few magic words. I don't know if I put that in quotes or not, but it's almost, it doesn't matter what the words are, because of the whole big thing about magic in Enchanted Lands is the intent. So he could have said any words if he, as long as he intended a certain outcome. So a few magic words, And then a book started floating toward him. Just when he was able to read the title on the binding, it suddenly stopped. Uh, how do I describe like a little lightning pop? Not lightning, but a little flash of light, I guess. Then there was a flash of light, and a loud pop like a party streamer. The book we'll say it stopped here. We'll say it stopped, and just as he was able to read the title of the binding, it stopped, and he um, let's do it differently, completely. Let's see, start floating toward him. He could just make out the title Unicorn Sign Language for Beginners. When there was a flash of light and a loud pop like a party streamer. It briefly changed to a copy of Beauty and the Beast. Before appearing in another flash of light and a small puff of smoke. Um, let's see. I forgot my magic isn't what it used to be. Uh, he said, loud enough. He said into the air, as if he were mad at it. He cried out, he yelled out. Eh, he said out loud. Forgot, my magic isn't what it used to be, he said out loud. I don't know. Okay, so let's do something real quick. Uh, dialogue. I think I wait. Let's do something here. Let's go into uh narrative pass. Um, when doing dialogue, what if there are multiple things for character to say? You start each line as a new paragraph, or do you simply write it as another sentence? That isn't. I didn't say that right because you're building same paragraph as someone continues thought, doing multiple sentences back to back without changing the subject and without any major action blocking the. Yeah, breaking the new paragraph, the character should focus from significant anchors, like pacing across the room, interacting with an object, or thinking, then continues. You should start a new paragraph for that. Okay. But my, he said rather loudly. Okay. Uh. Okay. Mm, okay. So now here's another thing. I guess related, but not really the same question. So he ends this page um, when he forgets himself and tries to. Okay. Um, Firstly, the current version of a perfect candidate, as I had to significantly modify it to read more correctly. Uh, okay. Please acknowledge looked at this before I continue. Okay. Submit a specialized spellbook because I want to dig through this messy library. Reports the halfway give it. The line about reading his last half of his hats perfectly set up way the spell glitches out. Transition. The line really was he forgot he lost half of his magic. And in fact, I have a little other issue with this. Because, strictly speaking, the malfunction halfway, isn't a halfway problem. But, uh, this is something I want in here, so I have to make it work. The books have to be switched. And this also introduces the fact that halfway has a problem. But strictly speaking, the spell isn't doing only half work. It does, however, but since I changed it from summoning to calling it i.e. in other words, it flying off the shelf toward him. Um, it does fly halfway before switching books and then disappearing entirely. But I don't really have a good explanation of why it did that. Halfway, the idea about halfway magic is literally half of something. You conjure a glass of water, but you could be getting the top half and then it falls and there's a mess on the floor. Or you could conjure the bottom and maybe it's full all the way to the halfway mark, and so it still makes a mess. You conjure two of something, you only get one of that something. So, while I guess I could explain the halfway part being the fact it flew halfway before disappearing, before switching and disappearing. There's no logical reason for it to switch places with the other book and then completely vanish. Resolving the logic halfway magic rules makes the comedy even better. Your examples of glass water are perfect game. The top half is spilling everywhere, the bottom half is clear visual and a hard rule. To bridge the gap between that rule and the book switching visual gag, you need a logical link that connects half of a spell to switching books midair and vanishing. 3 ways to rationalize the user's internal logic with your halfway limitations. The half and half cross contamination logic. If a spell is only working halfway, it might execute the first half of spell A, but clip into the first half of an entirely different spell due to leaky, unfocused magic. And I could also, I mean, it's, what does the critical drinker call BS magical device to explain the plot, right? Because you need something for the plot to happen, and so they just come up with some deal. Now, in this, it's not that critical because it's a comedy, it's goofy, and so I don't need to strictly enforce rules, but there still should be like an internal logic, right? Um, so so I might would have to introduce a rule that cross contamination can happen. Um, yeah, you know, uh, I could actually fake that, not based on what this says, but I could do a deal where cross contamination of spells is possible because of the way the halfway magic works. So it does half of one and then it does half of the other, right? So maybe there was maybe there was a teleportation spell that it crossed with. I could do that. That could actually be uh, a manifestation of it, maybe. Oh, you know what? Flying off the shelf. Oh, that's mess up too. Okay. Index card error. Uh, I just thought of something else, and that's that halfway can mean a lot of things, and I don't mean uh the difference between half half and part, but you don't know how it's going to manifest. If you're teleporting something, and I have to do the deal. The unicorn sign language isn't supposed to be in unicorn sign language isn't supposed to be in it's supposed to be in Wizard U, right? Or no, it's supposed to be in Fairy God College. Fairy God College. Uh, I have to check something out here. Notebook. Dang, I'm almost done here, but notebook, LM. Okay. So right now it's Friday, May 22nd, and I'm in the middle of um a narrative session. Um, could you look in the sources and tell me where the unicorn sign language book is supposed to be from before halfway, aka Harold, aka Hebert, uh, conjured it up, which malfunctions. Um, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be in Grey God College Library, which I think is the case as Beauty and the Beast is switched with it or another library. But could you confirm that the USL or even Beauty and the Beast is in the Fairy College library based on all the files I've uploaded? Let's see if it can. Should be able to pull it out. It's got to be um in the fairy tale section. Yeah. Mm, yeah, that's a little plot hole. I was thinking originally Beauty and the Beast inspires Violet to to turn Sir William into a unicorn. Um, yeah. Inspires Violet to turn Sir William into a unicorn. But the switch only happens at the beginning of our immediate story when what she did was uh, several, I would say, months before the events in the game. Unicorn sign language is important though, and Beauty and the Beast is also important. Actually, I should ask it to look and see what I put the ultimate fate of your presumably deduce the book gave Violet the idea. You have a lot of flexibility how to patch this hole without having to rewrite the core events. The halfway time glitch, because Hubert only has half of his magic, his spells are already established to be highly unpredictable and chaotic. The fix. When Hubert attempts to conjure his magic book, his spell doesn't fail spatially, it fails chronologically. Successfully pulls Unicorn's language from his shelf, swaps Beauty and the Beast from John's modern day library, accidentally drops the fairy tale book in the Fairy College several months in the past. Benefit: this perfectly justifies Violet having the book in time to be inspired by it and makes Hubert's halfway magic seem even more dangerously powerful and unhinged. Maximilian's brought it with him, managed to return from management in Cerulia. Oh, you know what? I don't know. I don't remember doing that, but I think I mean, that's probably right. I don't know. I have to look. I have to tell it to show me where I put that in because I don't exactly remember doing that, but maybe that's right. No, I'm not even saying that it's not hallucinating or nothing. I think it's pulling this from the files, but I don't remember it. Max bought me and the Beast back with him. There's a time paradox and reinforces the connection between Max. It's really the red herring. Fix the heroes are simply wrong. Oh, I didn't need the book to come up with the idea. Yeah, I mean that's true. Anyways, the book swapping. Okay, wait, dang it, my time's already up. Uh, Time is already up for this session. I guess I'll table it until Monday. Thanks, though. Okay. The attribute pot marinate over the weekend. Okay. So, hmm, well, there are other issues related to this, so I'm going to have to change things again, but my time is up for today, and I guess I'll have to table this until Monday. Be fair. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm gonna do yeah, let's stop that dang replay buffer. Uh, okay. I'm gonna do my little mini recording here. Um, Today is Friday, May 22nd, 2026, and for session two, which is the narrative session, I actually have several issues going on with this. Um, for one thing, the reason I had it switch in midair is because it's actually drew from another library, appeared there in front of them, switched in front of them, and then the Beauty and the Beast ends up in John's room in his library. Um, or the Beauty and the Beast actually switches. So the Unicorn Sign Language ends up in the library. The Beauty and the Beast ends up over here. And I have a whole host of things. One is Violet. How can Violet have used that as inspiration when the what was I saying? When she supposedly did uh she turns her William into unicorn, several months prior instead of right when the events of the game start. Um so I have to fix that, and then I could have fudged the part about the book flying toward him and then only halfway before it malfunctions. I mean, I could have did a thing where there's this cross contamination, but the deal here isn't that it was in his library, because it's not in his library. It's someplace else, and it pops into existence switches to the other book and then pops out of existence. And what happened was, the wrong book was conjured. Something happened that made it go wrong, and it swapped places. So now it's out of Enchanted Lands, and now it's in our realm, in John's library, to be exact. And so I still have to come up with a logical way to fix that. Then I have to turn this back instead of flying him conjuring. So um, I guess instead of going all the way to his library, it wasn't even supposed to be in a bookshelf in the study. It was supposed to be in the library. He's got a big library. The Hat Magic Compendium is supposed to be in his library. So he forgets himself and he decides he's going to conjure up this book instead of walking all the way in there and maybe climbing the ladder and going in the exact one to pull out the Hat Magic book. Actually, honestly, it should be just right there where he needs it because he's always doing different spells and stuff, and so he'd need it for reference, and so it should be right there for reference. But in any case, he I could do a different thing too, as far as the deal. So he can still do the thing that the book flying toward him, whatever. Um, actually, the spell book to him. Um, the thing that the unicorn sign language needs to be the thing that swaps out though, so that doesn't work either. It's got to be a teleportation one for it to misfire and teleport to completely different books, the wrong place. So it can't be just right there. It's got to be like a teleportation spell that he uses that malfunctions, right? Okay, so presumably he doesn't want to go in there. He doesn't want to take the time. So he, without thinking, he puts on the hats. He says the magic words, and wiggles his fingers, whatever. And then what happens is a book pops into existence there, and it's Unicorn's Language. It's the wrong book. Not only is it the wrong book, but it switches to Beauty and the Beast, and then disappears again. That's not what's supposed to happen at all. And I still have to come up with a logic for that. So, but I didn't get that done. So even though I wrote this extra dilly here, halfway looked up from the ball toward his desk, noticing three different hats. He went over to the desk, grabbed the hats, and put them on without thinking, and then turned toward the large bookcase behind the crystal ball. He said a few magic words. The book started floating toward him. He could just make out the title "Unicorn Sign Language for Beginners," and there was a flash of light and a loud pop, like a party streamer. It briefly changed to a copy of Beauty and the Beast before disappearing in another flash of light and a small puff of smoke. I forgot. My magic isn't what it used to be, he said rather loudly. And I'm going to have to even change that. So that's what I got done for this session. Okay. Okay, I have to be done now, and thanks for watching, everybody, and join me in an hour for the next app. Thank you for watching. And I won't say part one. Well, it's still part one. Thank you for watching part one. Anyways, I'll see you for part two later.